Thank you. So the goal of the executive board meetings is really to have any kind of in-between discussion between our general meetings. So any kind of like tasks that are really pressing that we need to make some decisions on that we can't wait for our general meeting to do. And also more specifically to kind of set the agenda for our general meeting. So what are the things that we need to talk about at our general meeting? Are we inviting any guests to our general meeting? Is there like a really important topic going on in the community, in the world that we think we should bring into the general meeting, things like that. So I put out a little bit of a rough agenda. So first, just going through some committee reports. So hearing from our committee chairs and just having some general conversation about how committees function. Since it's the start of the year and we have new people stepping into chair roles, like how committees function, and also maybe how we can recruit for some of the other committees, like what is a committee that we think really, really needs to be formed ASAP, things like that. Then just a review of the upcoming events. We have a lot of things kind of brewing, proposals, things that really are definitely happening. So talking about those. And then of course, setting the agenda for November 9th. There's also, I forgot to add to the agenda for tonight, the UFT members reaching out to us. So Jenny and Ellen don't know about this per se, but we'll have a discussion at the end. UFT members from STAR reached out to the PTA for some support on advocacy on some stuff. So we could talk through that as well. Is there anything else that we needed to talk about tonight?
Wait, right. you said book fair committee already, reports, right?
Committee reports, yeah.
And then the wellness
put that into the committee reports.
And then you said the swap being changed and moved, the clothing swap.
Upcoming events.
Okay. I think that's all I had in my notes.
All right, cool, perfect. That's
okay.
Good. All right, cool. So just let's do committee reports. Let's start, I think, with I don't know if Ellen's prepared to talk because she's in a car. Let's start with the book fair committee first, and kind of what's going on with Scholastic books and everything.
Okay, so we had a meeting, a first committee. It was, I think a good meeting. First book fair committee meeting, was it last week? We discussed some stuff in that meeting in terms of things that we would like to see happen. We were able to solidify the dates. I don't know if y'all saw the dojo post from the November 15th through the 25th. We'll be having our second virtual book fair, which is a very small fundraiser to try to, get some books into kids' hands and generate some funds for the PTA for increase our Scholastic books. So I know Chris spoke to the SLT at the meeting on Monday and brought up some ideas on how we want to incorporate and fostering a better partnership this go around with the teachers and get them more involved, and kind of having them track the kids' reading and things like that. That's as much as what's going on with the Scholastic Book Fair right now. I have some marketing posts that are going to be going up starting tomorrow, and with the countdown, because we'll be 10 days out officially as of tomorrow. So, that's pretty much it. We're set to go. The camp, our homepage is live. We sent out in backpacks the principal's letter. So Ms. Jackson thankfully was able to help and assist with distributing those to the teachers, and they got those into the backpack as far as I know. So it's all is good with the book fair stuff so far.
Chris?
Yes. The only thing we have to bring to your attention as the board is the Scholastic books that will be used for the grand prize winners. So for anyone that is new to this, which is basically everybody, we are giving away grand prizes to the most quote unquote readingest classes. And so we're doing first prize and second prize to the class. So that means that we're gonna give away like a kit to the class. We are also giving away a book to the class. So every class from 3K to 5 will be gifted books from the book fair committee. So we thought that 750 scholastic books would be able to cover both the first prize and the first and second prize book fair kits, and then also the class gifts. If you feel that $750 should be sufficient, then please yay. And then if you feel like it is not, then please nay. Sean, I defer to you as per the voting.
Yeah, so typically, so this would be something that we generally hold over to the general meeting, but since we kind of have to make a decision before our general meeting to kind of roll out the planning, reach out to teachers, all that kind of stuff. That's why you guys are bringing it to the board. So typically, Kala, you would handle these whenever a proposal is made for money, you would handle the vote on it. So you would kind of like write it down, okay, and then you reiterate whatever the proposal is coming from the floor. We're in a less formal setting right now, so we don't need to do that. But just so you know, if we were in the general meeting, that would be something that you did, and then you would, yeah, you would ask if there was any comments on the proposal, and then we would go forward with a vote. So maybe we can, does anybody have any thoughts on the 750 scholastic dollars that's being proposed to be used to support this book fair?
So the 750 is that you said for grand prize, first runner up and second runner up classes, or just one grand class?
No, they would
It's
be for the.
Oh,
Go ahead, Chris. Go
Hey,
ahead.
Karen.
It's for 2 prizes, and also we're also gifting each class. So it's for technically 1, 2, 3. I don't know how many classes there are, because I know that like 5th grade only has 1 class, 4th grade only has 1 class, third grade has 3 classes, and so each class is getting a gift. And then we're also doing prizes, which are for the what we're doing within the competition.
Okay. I just wanted to make. Do you think that's enough? That sounds like it might be a little.
I mean, as
It might
far as
not
the
be enough.
research that I did, I think it's more than enough. I mean,
Okay.
it's gonna use. So we're asking for 750, not that we'll use the whole thing, just if we did go over, or we decided to do a different type of giveaway, say like Miss Wolf, who I reached out to, decides to do a live book reading like she did, and we gave some scholastic books to the kids that participated in that, just so that we covered ourselves and that we don't have to come back and say, hey, we actually need
more. Okay, I just thought that was a little less. I thought it was that much. I mean, I'm in agreement for anything to get the kids books in the kids' hands and get them going.
Yeah. Is it in the SLT meeting, was it that they're gonna the grand prize is gonna go, they're like putting together both first grade classes?
They voted, which I voted with them, that we're only going to track the 3rd grade through the 5th grade. So
Wait.
they're not going to track 3K through 2nd grade.
Oh, that's that
Since we're gifting the classes since we're gifting all of the classes, then the the competition is only gonna be for 3rd grade through 5th grade.
But that's not something that we spoke about. That's something that they just changed, which I actually do not agree with.
If you want to, I mean, I think that
Because I don't, we
because
should
it's
figure out,
for,
Well, what I would just say for the order of business for the meeting,
Yeah.
sounds like this is a committee discussion.
yeah.
yeah,
I should just handle those logistics in the committee meeting, or
yeah,
like, you
I
know,
didn't know
in your
that.
committee chat. But the vote on this 750 scholastic
Yeah.
dollars is something that we should probably just move forward on
Take care of
now.
now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so basically,
It's hard to
I'm not
hear.
sure who has the background noise. Who has that background noise? Oh, I don't know who it was. It was Ellen. Ellen's got like the cabbie music or something on. So just for clarity, so it's 750 of scholastic dollars. That's not coming out of our main bank account. Those are basically credits, dollared credits that we have with Scholastic that we've earned over the years. So that's basically what we're voting on right now. So I would just say, is there anyone opposed to the book fair committee using 750 scholastic dollars to support this year's book fair prizes and stuff? Again, anyone opposed to the $750? All right, cool. So it sounds like everyone is on agreement. So, you know, we'll leave it to the book fair committee to kind of iron out the logistics and what grades we're gonna bring into it and all that kind of stuff. All right, cool. So it sounds like everything's going good, and we'll do the marketing for the book fair on the schedule that y'all submitted to us. So the next committee is, Chris, you wanna go over wellness stuff?
Yes, I propose to have a wellness event on the Friday, the 19th. Again, in the garden, or where we were having the coffee hour, but instead of 2 p.m., right after drop off. That was it.
I would say the only consideration that week is that we're gonna be all hands on deck for the 18th for the picture day. So if people think it's still within their capacity to do the picture day and in addition do the event on the 19th, that I'd be in favor of it. But if people feel like it might be too much of a strain to do both events in that, you know, back to back, that'd be a consideration. Anybody have any thoughts on it? So Ellen asked in the chat, what will the wellness event include? So maybe you can give us a little overview too of what you did last month.
Last month, I just invited everyone to come, and I guided everyone through self-care, what we, there really wasn't any ask from the parents other than to show up, and we just talk. Because each one is topical. So the next one is what self-care means to the community. The first one was self-care and what that means to you. And we just offered refreshments.
And how long was it?
Sounds good.
The last one was 30 minutes. It felt a little bit rushed. I probably would have it as 45 minutes. The next one, but no more than 45 minutes.
Another thing maybe, can anyone commit to that? Because Chris, I know you can handle it on your own, but having someone there who can corral parents while you're kind of setting up table, you know, stuff like that. I wonder if anyone's able to commit to helping support Chris that Friday morning, the 19th.
Ellen wrote in the chat that she can. Let me just double check on that. My eyes going crazy. She said she
Yes,
can
Ellen, that would be at
the
8:30.
19th at 8:30. Yep.
Okay.
And
perfect.
I can also ask to the, once we've confirmed the date, I can also ask anyone from the PTA as well.
Yep. All right, awesome. Cool. All right, so it sounds like we're a go for that event.
I would
And-
try to participate with you guys as well for that day. I mean, I believe that I'm gonna travel to another state, but on that day, I don't know what time I should be able to get to New York. As soon as I arrive, I will try to also be part of that event. Also, want to inform you that it seems that my son is gonna leave the school by the next year in January. So just letting you know, because we move into to another state. And I want to change him, you know, to another school. You already know how it is here in New York. So I really want to make sure he's safe somehow. I mean, we're trying. We got this opportunity and want to take the chance, you know, with this. So, but I will try to do my best to participate with you guys until this year. If there's any changes, of course, I will stay with you until next year as well.
Well, congratulations. And yeah, just keep us posted on dates and stuff like that.
All
And
right.
however we can help you.
All right, sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah. All right, cool. So it looks like we're good to confirm our next wellness event on November 19th after drop off, and we'll get the marketing stuff together and all that goodness. Cool. So Ellen, I don't know, can you talk right now?
I can talk a little bit.
You want to do some garden committee stuff?
Yeah. You know, I think it seems like the garden has mostly been a neighborhood school endeavor. So it seems like it would be, you know, great to try to get more parents from STAR involved. So I think that's like, seems like one focus. And I've had some conversations with other parents from neighborhood that coffee to spill. Okay. About engaging with class, like the teachers and classrooms, just kind of, it sounds like building out a little bit of a programming more for the spring when the garden would be a little bit more active, I imagine. So there's an event on Saturday. I know that they're having a neighborhood day or like a harvest type of event. And I am going to be there on Saturday if anyone wants to come. It's going to be just like working in the garden, and they have some bulbs that have been donated. So they're going to be planting bulbs, and we're going to do a little harvesting of like the sage and the oregano to prune that out and get things ready for the winter. So I'm really open to like, you know, what this group and what the full PTA, what ideas people have about getting involved in the garden, because, you know, can't be like a single-handed venture. So yeah, I don't know if there's any questions or anything else that you think I can speak to, let me know.
What time is this event, Miss Ellen? What time is this event for the Saturday?
I think it's 11 to 3. And there's gonna be the gardening pieces, and then I think they have some things going on the 4th Street side of the building, screen printing and apples and like hot cider, and I'm not quite sure what else.
Do
To
you
be honest, I've just been.
do you have a flyer?
I don't. I know Sean and I were chatting a little bit about that because I think we got the information from neighborhood school very late. So it felt like a little awkward to be putting some.
Lost you there, Ellen.
Is that appropriately said? Hopefully.
We lost you for like 15 seconds there.
Oh, sorry. So just that, it sounds like there is a flyer available, but I was saying, Sean, you and I had connected a little bit about it being a little awkward to be sending something out so last minute to parents. It's not really, maybe feels disrespectful to say, oh, there's an event in 3 days, So
if it's possible, you can share that through the WhatsApp, so we can, sometimes, like me personally, I don't know too much about events in this area. I wouldn't mind, to be honest, about finding out something to last minute. Actually, I just told my son, and he's like jumping around. He's like, oh yes, great, because we don't, I don't go that much outside. It's like we work, like I work Monday to Friday. So for me, Saturday, Sunday, if I have something, even if it's last minute that I can do something with my son, that's amazing. And why not? If you can share, that would truly appreciate.
Yeah, I don't think it's too bad to like put it up on Dojo or something tomorrow to just be like, hey, event happening tomorrow. Sorry for the last minute, we'll work to do better next time type. Cause I do think like that's something I'm interested in, the community garden, we do like the work days ended last month. So I'm like, there's another work day I can take Linus to, at a different garden this month still. So I feel like to just have the information that, if they feel disrespected about that, I feel like they're too sensitive, to be honest, because, everyone's doing their best to get all the information to everyone. And, life happens and sometimes things get overlooked. And I think that if people can't make it, they can't make it. But if other people might, then get interested in the reminder that, oh, wait, we do have a garden. Maybe next time I'll get the information soon enough to go and like try to get involved, things like that.
I know also TNS made a flyer or like a survey, a survey for putting out to parents about interest in getting involved in like student classrooms involvement in the garden. So I think that's something that we should also try to push out to STAR parents so they can also be, if they want to be involved in that realm, they can,
Yeah, I was just gonna say some of the context about our relationship with TNS. Me and Ellen have talked about this, is that we have historically tried to work with TNS throughout the years, kind of do more in collaborative events. And there's been, it's been a little frustrating because there's been poor communication from TNS, and then they move forward without involving and engaging us in the process. So initially this harvest event with the garden was supposed to be a joint event. They didn't continue conversating with us, and they went ahead and not only planned the details of the event without us, they then made it into a larger TNS event, which is fine, but it does rub us a little, we get a little weary supporting TNS when they do this kind of stuff, because there's some equity issues between us and TNS, and their lack of effort to engage us in the process on joint efforts is very frustrating historically. The garden was never a TNS garden. It was funded and created as a joint thing between the schools, and the TNS PTA basically just bogarted the garden, and now they treat it as the TNS garden. And they're always saying, oh, we wish star parents would get more involved. Why won't they get more involved? It's because when star parents show up, they treat it like a TNS event. When star parents show up, they make decisions and say, hey, come to our TNS event. Like the stuff that's being harvested is joint stuff between the school. Why is TNS dominating and harvesting the whole garden and making it their event? You know, so that was my resistance to kind of hosting it. But I think you're right, Kala and Karen. At this point, let's just say, hey, TNS is having an event this weekend. If you want to join up. And then I think we need to have a real like heart-to-heart conversation with the TNS PTA, because maybe they don't realize what they're doing. And they're, again, like you said, just trying to do their best. But at the same time, it's not a new thing. It's a reoccurring theme.
That's yeah. No, none of that surprises me. Everything you're saying, I mean, Linus has only been at the school 2 months, and I get that vibe all the time about the situation. I'm sorry, my house is a mess and I don't know how to blur it. But I think like what you're saying about how the garden had been jointly funded and they kind of just took it is more the reason to have some star parents kind of show up, kind of step to them, if you would. I don't know how else to say it. Just kind of like reminding them, like, this isn't yours. Like, this was ours. And like, I will be taking these herbs home for me. Thank you. Like that type of just, I don't know. That's how I feel. I feel like if it was supposed to be jointly funded, you can't. And historically, they always stay doing this. They're not going to stop doing it because someone has a heart-to-heart with their PTA. They're going to stop doing it if star parents show up and just don't let them do it. You know, like that's kind of what it's going to take. So Ellen, I appreciate you doing the garden committee, because it's not right. Like you said, it's an equity issue. Like that's not right. If it was jointly funded by the schools, then it's both of the schools and everyone should be benefiting from it.
Yeah, no, for sure. And Ellen, you know, we're not trying to put you in a weird situation, you know, stepping into that co-coordinator position and dealing with those politics, but they are there. And, you know, so I think it's like, we also should have the conversation with the TNS folks and be like, hey, maybe there is independent events that you do, but we should also be doing independent events, and there shouldn't be any, you know, any weird feelings about that, you know. So we kind of need to iron that stuff up if we are going to continue to try to collaborate, not only on garden stuff, but just on events in general, like the coffee hours we were trying to do in collaboration with them. That has kind of gotten a little messy as well, because they kind of bogarted it a little bit and tried to turn it into their garden themes, but whatever. I don't want to dominate our conversation tonight with that, but
I think, yeah,
stuff to talk
should
about.
We should try to push it if you're gonna do something to say our joint garden with TNS, like, you know, play the words nicely, that, you know, joint, connected, however you want to spin the word. But I think it does have a lot to do with the previous PCA and their non-involvement in a lot of stuff before us. Before, was it COVID? Yeah, because it was like the beginning of COVID when it happened. So I guess, to play a little devil's advocate, I think it's just they're just used to Star just stepping away and not to say not caring, but just Star not being involved, and they're like, okay, we're just gonna do it. But yeah, something joint would be nice.
All right, cool. All right, so we'll keep it going. And Ellen, thanks for holding it down. We'll share that image in Dojo either tonight or tomorrow. All right, cool.
Sounds good. Thank you guys for your feedback.
Definitely. And then I think that's all committee reports that we have. We're running a little short on time. I wanted to talk about really quickly just kind of how committees function. So committees are, of course, smaller break-off groups of the larger PTA that focus on very specific tasks or parts of the work. It's a great way for parents to get involved because you know, maybe they don't want to be on the board, and they, you know, they're not as available, but maybe they're very interested in a very specific function, whether it be the garden or fundraising or for, you know, recruitment of parents into the PTA, the membership committee. And so basically the committees, the way that they function is that they meet independent of the PTA, have smaller meetings. There's not a set schedule for any of the committees. It's more like when needed, they meet. And then each committee chair gets appointed. And the way the appointment works is basically we come together and we say, okay, this person is the best communicator from the group, or this person is stepping up a lot in the group. Let's make them the chair. And then the chair is invited to our board meetings. Like tonight, Jenny and Ellen are invited to the board meetings, and they kind of report in what's happening with the committee. So the committee doesn't have the power to make any kind of decisions on money, and like we don't even have real decision-making power on money. We more so do emergency approval on funds, and also small approval of up to $50 for petty expenses and stuff like that. Everything decision around money should be happening at the general PTA meeting. So, but the committees can make decisions on, you know, details and logistics for events that have been agreed to. Like, oh, we agreed that we're gonna have a wellness event on the 19th. Now the committee can, you know, do the fine tuning of the details on what that will look like. And so it's kind of like this back and forth, check and balance, making sure that there's not like little factions of parents controlling the garden committee and stuff like that, right? Like really it's the whole PTA. Every parent's has the decision kind of thing. Any questions on how the committees function? Or any things you've ran into that have been hurdles for you on a committee, feeling like, you know, you need to make a decision about something quicker or get marketing material out quicker and it's not happening? Ellen said, is there a minimum frequency of committee meetings? Yeah, as needed, and ideally that there's at least a check-in monthly, so that the committee can report back. But it could be an informal check-in. Like I know the book fair committee has set up their own WhatsApp chat. And that's helpful to have like that small communication. A committee might just be like 2 people, so it might just be like, yeah, checking in with each other before our general meeting to make sure that we're reporting in everything. Kala said that she can help with any work days around the garden. That's awesome.
Has that been like the preferred like method of communication, like creating WhatsApp groups for communicating like amongst committees and things like that?
Yeah, just because we found that a lot of parents, WhatsApp is not a hard tech jump, you know, and sometimes, you know, setting up Zooms and setting up Google Meets can be a little bit straining. So the WhatsApp has been helpful, but you know, whatever works for the folks who are in the committee, really. There's no like nothing in our bylaws about using WhatsApp.
Yeah, more of the same in terms of like getting like STAR and TNS on the same page, at least for the garden. It seems like, you know, we have different, they use Kinsella and we use Dojo. So, and I think email seems like not everybody's always like on email as frequently, it seems like. So I'm gonna make that recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some parents don't even have email, you know. Karen said, what about Zoom meetings with parents? Yeah, so we definitely like, so we have our exec board meetings on Zoom, and then we have our general meetings on Zoom. If your committee meeting, if you want to have like a more formal meeting and set up like a 30-minute Zoom or something like that, if you ever need help setting up the Zoom, you could just contact me and we can set up a Zoom for your committee. So that's definitely always an option, Karen. Okay, cool. So maybe we'll continue the conversation on committees and formation of new committees later. I think we have, 3 committees that are functioning right now with our wellness, garden, and book fair efforts. That it's great, and we could just keep building them up too. Maybe Chris, that's something to think about the next wellness event. Maybe there's some people who are coming to the wellness events who are really into it, and you can rope them into being part of a wellness committee, like help me organize the next one kind of thing. And the goal really is that the committee members are not us, not the board members. Like, we should be on committees, but we need like other folks, so our board members shouldn't be on like 3 committees. That's not the goal. All right, cool. So moving on to upcoming events. So we talked about the book fair already in the book fair committee report, which is good. Picture day, I'll start it off, and Jenny, you can fill in any blanks because Jenny has been basically doing everything for the picture day on the back end. So what we've been able to do is we secured a new picture company, right? We circulated that information in the WhatsApp chat, so y'all all got to hear about that. We went forward with that company that had like the really good Google ratings and stuff like that. Reached out to them, solidified the date of Thursday, November 18th. Karen, hopefully you're in town, but it's Thursday, November 18th. As right now, we don't have a makeup day scheduled. And we'll see if we need one, but November 18th is the date. We are going to be trying to get out the order forms tomorrow. We're going to try to get them into the kids' bags, working with Ms. Jackson at the school. So Jenny and I are going to, they already send physical copies. We're going to be working on our own flyer that has the dates that we want parents to turn in money for, because the company, they're just like, show me the money when they come day of. We have to kind of organize money collection and support parents in that process. So what we're calling for is that we're gonna stuff parents' bags tomorrow with that information, and by next Thursday and Friday, so what is that, the 11th and the 12th, we're going to be asking parents to turn in their order forms and the funds, and we're gonna try to set up tables after drop off on Thursday and Friday, where we as PTA members are staffing those tables and collecting the money and making sure the order forms are all filled out correctly, making sure that they have the classroom designated. Callum mentioned that next Thursday is Veterans Day, so there's no school. So Friday, we'll be collecting money, but we're also going to tell the parents that they can turn in their funds to the teacher. And we've talked to the teachers at the last SLT meeting and let them know that that's something that's going to be happening. So we'll try to collect as much of the money after drop off as possible on that Friday, but also the option to turn it into the teacher as soon as possible, right? Anytime during this week. And we're going to coordinate with the school so we can get those funds. We're saying Friday, but really, if we get everything together by Monday or Tuesday prior to that picture day on Thursday, we should be in good shape. We just don't want to be like Tuesday and Wednesday scrambling, trying to, get funds counted and all that kind of stuff. We want to have all that stuff settled. On picture day, we called for 5 parents who could volunteer to help support throughout the day. We're going to make like a schedule of how that support's going to look. So we don't want to like overcrowd wherever the space the pictures are happening, even though these parents are going to be vaccinated and you have to do your screening, all that kind of stuff. We're going to have it in shifts. So, we'll let y'all know what those shifts look like. So you'll be, 2 hours in this area, take a 30-minute break, and then 2 hours in another area, something like that. But we'll get those details to you as we get closer. The kids are not going to take a group picture. They're going to be taking a more full body picture in addition to their regular picture that will be used as a composite into a group class picture that the company has been doing with other schools. And they actually said that they think it looks better than some of the class pictures. I don't know. But this way they can ensure, kids not having to take masks off in a group, you know, photo and stuff like that. Am I missing anything, Jenny?
Yeah, it's from 9 to 2 p.m. is the time frame. You didn't mention that, 9 to 2 on the 18th. The 5, I mean, I don't know if you already, did you? The 5 volunteers also get comped pictures. So that's a plus. And then I was able to work with Miss Jackson to get the exact number of parents in need, those are who might be in temporary housing and whatnot. So all those picture packages will be covered as well. So that doesn't have to come out of PT, because I know last time we allocated some funds for Picture Day to assist families in need. This go round, this company is actually going to be covering all 25 families, which is nice. I think they also gave a small discount on each package as well, because I explained to them we're a Title I school. So they discounted just for in general for the whole school, $5 off each package that they're offering us. So instead of it being like $50, it's 45 or something like that. I have to take a look again at the actual order forms, but it's actually to me pretty affordable for what we're getting. And then there's some also other discounts like for like if you have taking sibling pictures and things like that, they actually are working with us to ensure that there's also going to be a discount on that.
Yeah, and for anyone who's new, I didn't even know before this that the PTAs organized picture days. I was like, what? I thought the schools did that. So yeah, we organize the picture day, and it's a big responsibility every year. And you know, parents are very emotional about kids' pictures for the holidays. So we want to make sure we have it nice and organized, and no parents get frustrated in the process. So thanks everybody who is volunteering day of, and of course, thank you to Jenny for getting it all worked out. Cool. So for time's sake, we'll move along. Unless there was any other questions or comments, I'm sorry.
Backgrounds, we have a better selection of backgrounds this year. I know that was a big issue last year, that we had these really ugly backgrounds. We'll have from what I could see anyway, they have a better selection to choose from. Which we don't have to pay extra for, but I will confirm all details again with the guy just to be very clear on what we're getting, so that we don't have any last minute hiccups or any, oh, we didn't tell you this and things like that. So I'll confirm all those details in the next coming days.
All right, cool. The other upcoming event that we wanted to initially do in November, kind of tied to like Thanksgiving holiday and end of the month, you know, holidays, was a clothing swap. We're trying to organize a kid clothing swap. And so we figured with the book fair, picture day, it might be a little bit too hard to also squeeze in this clothing swap before the November vacation. So we're gonna wait to after the November vacation and in early December, try to organize this clothing swap. It's gonna be cold, so we're not gonna do it outdoors initially planned, but we're gonna be partnering with the Lower East Side Center, and they're gonna play host to us for free so that we can organize this clothing swap. And basically, for those who weren't here for the initial conversation about that, you know, bringing in gently used clothes that are clean. We're going to organize them by age, not by gender. And basically people can come and donate or not donate and just grab what they need. And, you know, 100% free, no limits on how much you can take, none of that kind of stuff. And this is just a real, it's like a holiday gift giving, saving money on clothes, all that good stuff. A way to support in a very equitable way each of our families. So we'll need some people to help coordinate that, but we'll talk about that at next week's meeting. And if you're interested in helping with that, and hopefully we can rope some other parents in to help with that effort. And I think that's it for events, right? All right, cool. So agenda points for our November 9th meeting. So of course, we're gonna have our committee reports, our event updates on upcoming events. We should also probably have report backs from events that we had last month. So we had, so like committee chairs, think about this. Don't only talk about like what's upcoming, but talk about what happened in October. So if you had a committee meeting, bringing back some of the major points from that committee meeting. If you had an event, reporting on how the event went, how well it was attended, what could have been better, stuff like that. So that we always are kind of like, you know, keeping our parents thinking about the work that it takes to do this volunteer stuff and motivating them to engage in the process. We're gonna obviously get a report back from Darlene. And I think within that report back, we're probably gonna be talking about vaccinations, right? Ellen said, do we need to submit points in advance? You don't have to, but if you want some support from the board, you can definitely like submit your report prior and we can give you feedback.
I just want to make sure I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I'm framing the like partnership with TNS and the garden committee, since this is the only committee that's like partnering with TNS, like directly. I think I just want some feedback from you guys about like how to just like word that in a way that's not off-putting, or I'm not trying to be overly concerned about like, you know, how it's coming off to people, but I want to make sure that they're getting the right message about we want people to collaborate. We want to build that partnership. So I'll probably send you something in advance just to get your feedback and fine tuning.
Okay, for sure. And yeah, if about the vaccine stuff, I guess if Darlene doesn't bring it up, I'm sure she will. I'm sure she will. It's gonna be an interesting conversation, I'm sure. Questions on mandates and you know all that kind of stuff. So I'll make sure that Darlene tackles that and you know we're not put in a weird position to talk about that, because parents will be on different, you know, it's to be expected that parents will have mixed emotions about children getting vaccinated and things like that. So we just got to navigate that, and hopefully Darlene could
Is
support.
the event that's coming up at STAR, is that for children?
The vaccination event on Monday is for children. So the Department of Education is rolling out these vaccination events at every school in the city throughout the week, next week. So it's not even something that is organized by the school. It's like the vaccination folks are gonna come, and it's gonna be for students and also for kids that are not in the school. Like anyone can walk up, and this is gonna be the vaccination site on Monday for any kid between the ages of 5 to 12. So I don't know how they're gonna handle that logistically and all that kind of stuff, but that you can spread the information if you have some friends who aren't at STAR or TNS but want to get their kid vaccinated.
Which vaccine is it? Do you know?
The Pfizer. I think that's the only one that's approved by the FDA at the moment.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think it's a 2-shot thing. I think it's a micro dose of like a third of a shot or something like that. I don't think it's 2 shots, but don't take my word for it. Any other thing?
2-3 weeks apart.
Oh, okay. So,
but it is a microdose. Each one is a microdose.
okay, cool. That's good to know. Anything else that we think needs to get on the agenda for this month? Holiday parties or events? Do we want to bring that up? This is usually the November meeting was when we bring it up.
What do you guys usually do around the holidays?
So on Thanksgiving, we have historically, like the right before the Thanksgiving break, we usually do this event called Thank Our Lucky Stars? I forget. Thank Our Lucky Stars, which is like a potluck a family potluck that we do at the school. We didn't do it obviously during the pandemic. We tried to do like some online stuff. We can still try to coordinate like a virtual dinner and kind of like recommended recipes, like parents can submit recipes and mixed drink recommendations or something like that.
Did you want, I thought we were doing the swap as our holiday thing.
Yeah. But if we wanted like a social event, I mean, you know.
And we could do it. It could be
What about a
social.
movie? What about a movie showing?
I remember
Zoom?
I went to one of those events and I remember they used to do like arts and craft for families so they can somehow participate with kids, you know,
Yeah.
like family time. And also I remember that there were a lot of parents who brought food.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
somehow like each of us, we brought food. So it was cool because
Yeah.
we organized like, okay, so this group is gonna bring salads and this group is gonna bring this, you know, like, so at the end it was a cool event. Yes.
Well, we won't be able to do anything in the school, but we could propose doing like an outdoor cookout on a weekend. It's going to be a little chilly, but you know, we could do it at the garden. We could do it in another social space. An outdoor cookout might be something that we could manage. I don't know.
The coffee things like that with cupcakes maybe. And with
Oh, like
cupcakes.
food.
No, I was saying like food, like doing a cookout. We got the grills and everything at the garden. You know, we make sure that we're wearing gloves and that we're, you know, not sharing utensils, you know, like do things like that. But we could pull it off. Maybe we could propose it next week, you know, some of the ideas of possible events that we can do, and then see where the conversation goes.
Summertime, I remember, you know, when still things were closed, I with some parents, I believe 2 months, we did like an event, but it was like, you know, last minute event for 4th of July, but you know, schools already closed and things like that. But what we did was like some parents brought like chalk to draw on the floor so the kids can draw. Also, we brought like things like markers, things like and we set up like a table in the playground. So we were able to do that. And at the last, what we did was I ordered pizza and so we share, you know, like pizza and soda, so we can just share with parents there. Let me remember. And since not only that, but also we did something for Easter that somehow we did like sort of games with the kids. So at the end they have like their prize of their whatever they were, we're doing like a contest, something like that with them. But maybe, I mean, it doesn't need to be like that, but something that if that it can engage some games from parents with kids, you know, it's a nice
that sounds
moment.
great. Maybe we can get the courtyard on a Saturday, like TNS is getting. We can get the courtyard on a Saturday and do games and pizza party and, you know, stuff like that. All right, so let's bring it up at next week's meeting. This idea of doing some kind of family cookout or just like a family game day, outdoors, you know, something like that, so we can bring families together, play together, laugh, eat some food, all that kind of stuff. Bueno, all right, that sounds good. So let's I gotta take off for another meeting. But if there's any other ideas that come to mind of things that you want to see on the agenda, put it in the chat, in WhatsApp chat, so that we just in case we forgot it or we ran out of time and couldn't talk about it tonight.
Bring speakers.
Yeah, we got speakers for sure.
All right.
Bye-bye,
Lovely music and dancing.
Yes. All right.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Have a
Thank
good
you
night,
for
y'all.
inviting me.
All right.
For coming.
Good night.
Good
Ciao.
night.